bit about the introduction of the canyon.
We were running for the last one we were on, so.
Oh yeah? Yeah. Catch them up.
I'm going to take you guys through about 2,300 acres today. That's how big Dogwood Canyon is, but the park is huge. It's over 11,000 acres. And this is the vision and creation of Johnny Morris, the owner and CEO of Bass Pro Shops, and now about 23 other businesses too. Ranger boats and tracker boats, Cabela's. He was born and raised in a little town just outside of Springfield called Willard, Missouri. It's where he got his start. His dad owned the Brown Derby liquor store up there. He fell in love with fishing at a very early age. About 9 years old, he started developing his own bait and refurbishing fishing poles, selling them out of the back of his dad's liquor store. Now he's worth about $5 billion. It's pretty amazing. He bought this property in 1990. When he made his initial purchase. Before that, it was privately owned for over 100 years. The locals referred to it as the Garden of Eden. It changed hands in about 1980. The guy who bought it was a place you could park your RVs out front, and then all the way down to where the chapel is now built. He had a trout farm. And then Johnny took it over, opened for business in 95. But this business is a little bit different than all his other businesses. This is run by a non-profit organization. I did that a couple of years ago. So that means all your money spent here in the park will stay here in the park, always to maintain, preserve, and expand. He loves to expand. But in this area, he's managed to preserve around 40,000 acres of Ozarks Plateau. It's really special to him. He used to come to this property in the 60s and 70s and hunt with his father and his grandfather. So it's kind of got fond memories for him, and it will be protected forever. It's really the largest of its kind. It's the largest privately owned nature park anywhere in the world. So just a couple of safety things. While I'm in motion, just remain seated. If I stop the tram, you guys can get up if you want to get the right picture. And always keep tucked in the tram. Your hands and feet inside the tram. Some really tight bridges and throughways, parts where I only have a couple of inches on either side. And remember, all the animals we encounter are wild. Even the ones up in the pasture. So I don't really know where they're going to be or what they're going to be doing. But hopefully I can get them real close to the tram. Just refrain from sticking your hand out because they still are unpredictable. I know the buffaloes really look like they want to be scratched, but we don't trust them still. Let me handle that. You guys ready for an adventure?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Well, even if you don't enjoy it, we're going to enjoy it again, so. We were crammed in here like sardines last time we were on.
We weren't able to sit together.
Yeah.
She had to sit like here and sit like for a holiday or something.
No, it was just 1:30 in the
Right
afternoon
before
on
the
a
school
Saturday.
started.
Yeah, on a Saturday, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Is everybody familiar with the Treehouse Masters on Animal Planet Discovery over here to the right? Show that's run for about 13 seasons. Pete Nelson and his crew came out here in 2014, that's season 6, episode 3, and they built this awesome Ozark-related treehouse. And he built it in 21 days by harvesting all the wood from right here in the mountains. He used these beautiful black walnut trees as the support beams that are still alive. Even the 11 steps up to the very top are all 11 different types of hardwoods that grow here in the Ozarks. When I drop you guys off at the Nature Center, I don't know if you've had a chance to check that place out. Back there to the right, you can access that custom suspension bridge that brings you over into the treehouse. Everything inside, all the decorations, are all Ozark related. Over there to our left is our tallest waterfall on the property. That is 150-foot Indian Cliff Falls over there. You guys haven't been through the restaurant yet. We've got a really cool Native American museum that goes over the creek there. Leads you out to the wrought iron observation deck, and you can get really close to those falls for some cool pictures. And if you keep your eyes on that canyon wall, just to the right of those falls are 3 Osage Indian caves. We've got some really cool discoveries on this property, including the oldest in the state of Missouri. But inside those caves, a bundle burial, which means multiple human remains, flaking tools and projectile points dated from 100 to 900 AD.
Yeah.
Now, right now, we are following Little Indian Creek, We've got 3 creeks on our property. Hobbs Creek meets us in the parking lot where you guys came in at. Little Indian Creek goes up here about 2 miles and turns to the east. That's where Dogwood Creek joins the system. All 3 creeks are spring fed and they all flow into Table Rock Lake at an average of 54 million gallons a day. Well, how cute is that dog?
A wild animal.
Wild animal.
That's what we have in a leash. Oh my God.
Now, because of the logging industry, we don't have very many old trees here in the Ozarks. Most everything's been cut down and harvested. The oldest trees that remain are the sycamores. And we've got several in this grove over 150 years old. And we've got 4 of them, like this big one coming up on the right, over 200. Sycamores aren't really sought after. Most of the trees got cut down for railroad ties, actually. But sycamores, they tend to warp when they cure, and they cure a little bit too light, so they just kind of leave these trees in place. Also, this big V-shaped one here on the right is also over 200 years old. Now, right now, we're going to use Long Pine Crossing to get over Little Indian Creek. One of the very first things that Johnny had constructed out here, this is an Amish-built bridge. And being Amish-built means no power tools or electricity at all during its construction. Just ropes and pulleys and horses and mules. Hand crank drills through these 12 by 12 beams. And all the wood that you see used in this construction, all the beams and facets, are all over 130 years old from Chicago, Illinois. They'll be taking that low road down there to the left where this other tram is going to cross in front of us on the way out if anyone wants a long shot of the bridge. But you can get some pretty cool pictures up here.